little task I'm doing at the moment under a cloudy sky. The wind's moving, it's blowing a bit, so I don't know if it's going to affect my voice recording on this recording very much. We'll see. But what I'm doing, I'm now just planning the retaining wall along here, and it's going to go all the way down, ultimately all the way down to the very end of that tin fence there past the lemon tree. But for now it'll probably go to maybe where that post is, or just on the other side, or this side of the steps where that tin is at the end of the plank here. And I haven't quite decided about some issues down the far end. But anyway, so the idea is to at least to where's my finger there, to this part here, to put a retaining wall. So the string line, got two string lines here. This will be the base for the garden, so that's all got to be filled in from that line there at the bottom of the tin, filled up to here. Hope to get the topsoil on the bank over there, which I'm going to realign. It's already got a cut. I've got 10 of these posts, 100 by 100s, 2.4 metres, and I've got 5 half rounds which I'll use as in between supports along here. So just getting a rough idea. So holes have got to be quite deep. This line here has got to be down here, so it's quite a depth to drill down on there. So just waiting for my auger that will arrive. Expect to see that here Friday. Someone's gone to pick it up for me. That will be travelling over to Whangarei, and they'll be able to drop it off for me. So thought I'd better get moving on and getting the planning placement done here. I've got some iridescent red paint, orange paint, which I'm going to mark on the bank, and that will tell me where I need to drill the holes with the auger. So a bit of work coming up, and these are the planks roughly in position. They're quite long ones. There's 200mm high and 250mm high, so that will give me a bed, a retaining wall of 900 exposed. Because the ground's sloping too, I may need to add a further plank down the bottom by that yellow drum end. And of course I don't know what's going to happen long term on this driveway here, and that's really going to decide what am I going to do with this old building here, whether this needs to be excavated out or it doesn't really matter. And if this building's going to be dismantled, then obviously to raise the floor level, because as you can see here at the entrance, it's actually quite low. Now it's never been able to flood, and there's a channel through there, you can see beyond the buckets where the tyre is, but it is actually based at basically ground level. But as I say, of all the heavy rain I've had here, it's never flooded. And you can see what's happened here is over time dirt has accumulated above the path height, which basically you couldn't see this path when I first moved here, and it's just grass and shingle which I've transferred to over there. So it's a little bit nicer to walk on some clean concrete rather than the grass, and especially what could be on the land with animals running around. So anyway, that's what I'm doing at the moment. What I'm doing here is just having a bit of a dig, not for gold, not for the end of the rainbow, but really just looking at shifting a pile of this dirt basically up to where the right hand side of that plastic is, and removing all this dirt along here, and then just sloping down to this area here. So basically the idea is to create this area flat and up to that other piece of plastic. And the idea for that is then to level it out, put fence posts in, probably around about here where my boot is. There's a retaining wall, this flat area. Level this out a little bit more, and that'll give me a lot more flat area in this sort of region. If I just come back over this way, it'll give you a better idea. And I'm going to I don't really want to dig it all by hand because it's quite a big job, and I don't have any earth moving equipment here at the moment. It's on the cards to buy, and anyway, for the dirt initially on the other side of that fence, which will go into the garden, and that will bring that level up as well. So it'll give me quite a bit of flat area just on this side of the old house. Eventually that pink fence will be pulled down, the shed just by the bonnet of the vehicle, and that will then tidy up a lot of this area, just providing a lot of flat area for vehicles to come and go, and that might then facilitate some of the other ideas I've got as well. You can see way over in the distance here in the middle of the picture, those white pegs, so I've sort of marked out what I need to do there. Put in a small height retaining wall, backfill it, probably with gravel and stones from the quarry, and that could become just parking place or additional container storage location. Haven't decided what to put on there yet, so but the first thing is to actually backfill it and get that in place. Flopsy's come down to have a look to see what's going on, haven't you? He likes coming down for a rub, see what I'm up to. Sometimes he'll be sitting up the top there or further over, and he'll come down to see what I'm up to and just stand there and watch. Want a rub? He wants a rub. I can tell when he wants a rub when I'm standing here, and he'll walk up to me, and sometimes he'll even rub his head against my my thigh, just like to remind me, don't you? Hey, this is very interesting because when I first arrived here and Flopsy and Bonkers arrived, Flopsy was very wary of me. It was just really quite interesting just to see the change in his behaviour and not running away. Now he's become quite friendly, aren't you? Those big eyes of yours. So I see the potato I planted in these boxes, and the ones around the side here, seed potatoes, are all starting to sprout. They've been in, just on a week, so I guess it's reasonable growth. And I've just been heaping the soil up, and I just had this container as well, so I've just filled that up, and I'm going to place this container, and hopefully it will multiply itself in time to come. So that's all done, and I've raised these containers all off the ground just so insects can't get into them that easy. They've all got holes in the bottom of the containers for drainage, and so still got a bag full here, or not a bag full, a number, probably 1.5 kilos after bag used. So I don't have any other containers that I want to use at the moment, and it might be that I need to find some or plant them in the ground. What I'm doing here is actually killing the grass, which is like this here, and it's all over this property. And if I think there's a couple of different types of grass here. There's the ones there where you can see the little clumps, and then there's the kaikui, which there's a piece of it, that's the roots, and that grows under the ground and just goes all the way along. There's another piece of the root that's been ripped out. So it's that's very strong, that animals don't like eating it because it's so tough. So that's all under here, plus these types of grasses. So just killing it all out, and if you can probably see, you might not be able to see from this position. Oh yeah, so you can see over there how it's all bare, and there's some bare patches up there. Well, that was all grass earlier this year, and when I started cleaning out the old house here, dragged all the old carpets out, we just dumped them on the ground here, and it killed all the grass. And so ideal spot. Topsoil here varies in depth, but I'd say the deepest would be about 500 mils, and then it goes down to sandstone. So it varies in terms of a little bit. And you can see we'll put a fence across here so the goats can't get through. And actually wondering whether I should really move this fence even further over by the tree, and just give me that little bit of extra space. So come midday, the sun will be up here. This area will start to get shaded, but at the moment, as you can see, it's up there. It's about 10 o'clock at the moment, so it'll get a reasonable amount of sun. This area of New Zealand gets very warm in summer. It's known as the winterless north. It doesn't mean it's no cold weather or anything, but that's essentially the characteristic, shall we say. So anyway, that's just a little task I needed to do, and I will continue with my day. Oh, what I'm going to do, these are some glass tops. There's 3 of them. Well, not tops, they were doors, 3-section shower door for the old shower that's in there that I don't use because it's yucky, shall we say. So I'm going to use those as tops for some growing boxes. So I've got some timber for that. There's a little bit here. There's a pile of timber up by the trees around the back. So that's what I'll put together. Put those in here somewhere. And might even cut down some sheets of iron, and we'll see. But anyway, just trial and error, see what works best.